Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. This show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel, and then at 4:45 p.m. different topics, same powerful show on Facebook Live. Today we're talking about mindset. Whoa, so important. Mindset and productivity. What is the connection between having a proper mindset, a productive mindset, an opportunistic mindset, that and productivity? All right. If you're new to the show is aimed at entrepreneurs, those who have their own business, those who like to own their own business, and those who simply would like to live in abundance like a boss. As you know from 10th grade science, there's a scientific, well, as you may also be able to discern from the show's title, we are also interested in the ideal of using joy itself as a technology to move us towards our goals and objectives. As we know from 10th grade science, there's a scientific imperative behind the feeling of joy. When the body is feeling joyful, the body is flooding itself with endorphins, and those endorphins can give us a sense of euphoria that we can then leverage to move ourselves towards our goals and objectives. We encourage everyone on this show to start their own business, that they may be able to eventually fund their own dream project, leading to living in abundance like a boss. All right. Thanks for being here. You can also learn more about us by simply going to productivethroughjoy.com, where we speak to schools, organizations, groups about being productive through joy, a really powerful public program. We also do live one-on-one Productive Through Joy consulting. You can go to, again, productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. Please also subscribe to YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. It's free. I did say free, 1, 2, 3, 4, free. Holla at us. Get all the videos, all the information as to what we're doing around the country. You can also go to michaeldatcher.com to learn more about me personally. Reach out. Okay. So today, again, we're talking about mindset and productivity. In the morning show, we like to also touch on the ideal of framing your day before your day has a chance to frame you. At times, we wake up in the morning, as I did this morning, which is what happens to me still, with trouble, with concerns on our mind. For many of us, though, that trouble follows us throughout our day. So we help people begin to deal with that using ritual. Ritual can be defined as doing the same thing at around the same time, right? So let me share my brief morning ritual as to serve as an exemplar. So in the mornings, I wake up at 3:45 a.m., including this morning. I read a couple of spiritual indoor business books. I do our morning show now at 4:45 here on AM here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. And then at 5, I work on my current novel until sunrise, which is around 6:15 here or so in Los Angeles. And then I go back to the beach to meditate, do yoga. I live here along the coast in Venice Beach, California. So I bring my drum out. I do yoga. I meditate. I pray. It's really a pretty powerful time because dawn is breaking. Only me and the dolphins are out. The occasional whale, I'm sure, out there somewhere. I come back when that's done to work on my current book for a while longer. Then I go back to the beach to run up the coast all the way past Santa Monica's pier, all the way back to Venice to go to my Gold's Gym, to get my workout in, to get my buff on. So guys, by 9:30, I'm feeling like a boss, feeling amazing. My body is being flooded with endorphins, as we know from 10th grade science, when the body's feeling joyful, that our body is releasing endorphins into our bloodstream, and we can leverage that euphoric feeling to move us towards our goals and objectives. And so, and we're not saying do what I do, we're saying do what you do. We help individuals construct a morning ritual based upon their own belief system, based upon their own schedule, but because life happens every day, it's important, we find, to have some type of a ritualized way to be able to address life consistently with productivity and just a feeling of joy. Listen, we know lots of people who are doing well because of this business and other reasons, because of the worlds I'm in. And let me tell you, money is not the answer. Certainly, we believe in money. I mean, we live in a capitalist society, and abundance certainly involves money. But for us, abundance is much more than that. I mean, if you're making good money, but your life is unjoyful, you're pretty miserable, you're bitter, unhappy. That's a lot of people, guys. Let me tell you, that's a lot of people who are doing well. Although I do say that millennials who are coming into their own financially in abundance do a much better job than baby boomers who we know, and Gen Xers who we know, way better job because they figured out that I need to. It isn't enough just to make money. I need to be of service. I need to be all these things. I need to be more involved in my community. I mean, listen, we help people have what we call a whole wealth, a holistic abundance. So I digress. Anyway, we help people to have that type of abundance. All right, so I'm reading two great books now as part of my own morning reading. I'm reading BAM, the Nag Hammadi Library or Reader. There's various versions of this book, and wow. This book is a compendium of ancient Gnostic scriptures, early 1st, 2nd, and 3rd century writings, including the life of the early Jesus, who was one of my heroes. I'm not sure if you know much about the historical Jesus, but my boy D Black would always say, people always lying on Jesus. It's a shame because many people are turned off. You know, you look at social media among folks who are conscious. Many people are turned off because of the ways in which Jesus' name has been and legacy has been lied upon. People are just lying on Jesus, just trying to make Christianity more palatable back in the day. But the historical Jesus, the early Jesus, let me just say as a brief aside, powerful, a meditator, a mystic, certainly ahead of his time in terms of gender equity. One of his main followers was Mary Magdalene, who probably was also his girlfriend, as at least the early texts seem to indicate that, which may be a little blasphemous for some people, but let me encourage people to do that research. It's important. I don't want to get too far afield, but we talked about a couple of days ago about being a seeker. You want to be a seeker in this life so you can gain more perfect knowledge. The point, though, is that I'm reading those two books. I'm reading that book. I'm also reading. I'm just kind of going off the cuff. I guess it's Friday. I'm just kind of freewheeling a little bit today, freestyling. I'm also reading a bit. I'm reading "You Are on the Moment" by Carl Lance, which is a book that's getting better, but it had kind of a slow start, but it's getting better. That book is about what it seems to be about, which is owning the individualized moments in life. When opportunities arise, seizing it, going for it, because they don't always last. Windows of opportunities close fast, like a lot of things that close fast. So from those two books, I extract some wisdom, which I call the morning chant. Today's morning chant is, as a meditating natural mystic, I see good and opportunity in all situations. Once again, today's morning chant for January what's today's date? 12th, 2018 is, as a meditating natural mystic, I see good and opportunity in all situations. All right. So from that reading, I extract some wisdom. I think about it. I place it on my phone, and also create the morning and afternoon shows based upon the reading. So today we're talking about having that mindset in productivity, the mindset of seeing good and opportunity in all situations, which is a challenge. Let me tell you, for those of us who come from struggle, in fact, that's a nice segue to give you a sense of who I am. So for those of you who are new to the show, let me give you a brief bio about myself. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller, Raising Fences. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people called my people. And I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for that particular project. I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel, Americas, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson and looks at these two identical twins. A very powerful book, which is now coming out in April, not February, but April 2018 on Third World Press. We just changed the publication date to April. So you'll be hearing a lot about that in the next couple months. I'll be doing all kind of stuff. I'll be traveling probably near you. So look for me on billboards in the media. I'll be coming to a town near you, I'm sure. So April 2018, Americas will be coming out. I am also the former executive director of the World Stage, a literary and jazz venue here in California. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. I'm currently a professor of English Lit at LMU here in Los Angeles. Listen, I'm an expert at being productive, all right? I don't say that to brag, but I say it because people like from my background typically don't, do this. I am the product of a young girl who was raped at 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption. I'm just having a little moment. I'm thinking about that story. It's so powerful. I mean, my origins are so crazy. Even though that was a long time ago, obviously, it still moves me to think that, man, God is good, and life is good despite, what happens to us. And so, given away to a great single divorcee, at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD. And we know many kids, I'm an educator, so I'm into education, obviously. And I see the youth, and I have a special love for the youth because I know that when I was a youth, someone reached out to me. My adopted mother saved me. I mean, listen, when kids can't take care of themselves, we need people, the adults, to step up, and too often the adults are not there for these kids. Anyway, I digress, a little emotional this morning, thinking about my life, thinking about what you go through, and why we need to be abundant, why we need to ball, why we need to have success, why we need to be an example for the youth, because they need it. Trust me, all right? And I share this story because for people like us who've been through some things, we have a built-in excuse, guys, as to why we can't make it. Think about Donald Trump demonizing Haiti, calling Haiti a shithole country and African country a shithole country. It's so disturbing and racist and crazy. This is how we need black people to stand up and be on top of our game and be excellent, because we got someone who is against us, who has extraordinary power. His history is racist from the time he was owning properties and was being sued for housing discrimination up until today. This is a racist in the White House, and not that that's uncommon. There's many racists all around us, but he's empowering racists, and this is the time to get organized, a time to be on top of our game. We gonna need it. All right. So I'm just on the road. I'm just all over the place today because I'm just letting the Spirit flow through me. I'm not going to fight the Spirit. So we need to be excellent. Too often, those of us who come from hardship, who come from difficulty, we allow that hardship to be our excuse as to why we cannot ball. But I'm here to tell you, show you, and demonstrate that you can ball until you fall from wherever, as Connie Williams says, you come from. All right. So we are a bit behind schedule, so we're just going to dive in. Please go to productivethroughjoy.com. Please become a subscriber at YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. Bring me out to speak to your group or organization. We're talking about mindset and productivity. Point one is you want to get your mindset focused on excellence. Point one. And as you get your mindset focused on excellence, how do you do that? You do it by being excellent when no one is watching, excellent in the small things, having a lifestyle of excellence. Point two is, as you begin to embrace that lifestyle of excellence, you want to then go about demonstrating it, right? Not just thinking about it, but demonstrating it in public, right? Being excellent at your job, whatever it is, being excellent in your relationships, being excellent in the public view. And then as you begin to get that private and public life together, you want to have a mindset that whatever happens, you can see the good, There's an ancient Buddhist story about a farmer whose son breaks his leg. And he's like, my son broke his leg. The next day, the army is coming around recruiting for young people to fight in some ill war. And the man's son can't go because he just broke his leg. And so that breaking of the leg seemed bad on the surface, but turned out to be a blessing. And that story goes on. But